allegations were, I was heartened by subsequent media reports on the quick action taken by our government agencies. An investigation team has been formed to investigate the allegations. Some government officers have been relieved from their posts, and lifestyle checks are going to be conducted on pinpointed immigration officials. Nagpapasalamat po ako para dito. Pero, napakadami pa ang dapat gawin at napakadami pa ang dapat managot. We were actually ready to wait another week before resuming the hearing, but I was troubled by news that our informant's life was in danger. This was Monday afternoon, only hours after the hearing. Nagpa siya ang aming informant na lumantad sa harap ninyong lahat. Ngayon, walang disguise, walang cover, para patotohanan ang ebidensya at magsabi ng katotohanan. Our witness today is willing and able to name names. Barya lang ang napupunta sa mga immigration officers at mid-level employees sa airport. Hindi rin lahat ang tumatanggap. We need to go after the big fish because the money goes way beyond frontline employees. Mas malaki ang kinikita ng mga protector at supplier. Milyones buwan-buwan ang natatanggap nila mula sa mga Chinese. May mga padrino talaga itong mga daan-daang illegal na POGO operation na nagdadala ng krimen, trafficking at prostitution sa bansa. Yun ang dapat nating tukuyin at panagutin sa batas. I know that this is only the tip of the iceberg. 10,000 ang binabayaran ng Chinese national sa grease money, pero 2,000 lang ang pinaghahati-hatian sa airport bilang pastillas. Asaan ang 8,000 at sino ang naambunan nito? Ang saklaw ng kaalaman ng ating informant ay NAIA terminals lang. Paano ang ibang international airports, kagaya ng sa Clark, sa Cebu, sa Calibo, sa Davao? But it has to start somewhere. And today, it starts with one young man ready to tell his story. I call Alex Chong. I understand he is represented by counsels, and he will be administered the oath by the COMSEC once he is in the hall. And of course, the COMSEC will also administer the oath to our Bureau of Immigration Commissioner Morente. Now that Mr. Chong's counsels are also in the hall, he will now, together with Commissioner Morente, be administered the oath by the COMSEC. The gentleman will please stand.
To Commissioner Morente and our witness, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, please state your name, do solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth before this committee. Thank you.
Thank you.
For the record, Madam Chair, they answered in the affirmative.
Yes, thank you, COMSEC. Thank you to the Commissioner. Thank you, Mr. Chong. Mr. Chong's counsels will now enter their appearance.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. I am Attorney Sara Soriano Hermida, respectfully appearing as counsel for Mr. Alison Chong.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. I am Attorney Tristan Toriano, respectfully appearing for Alex Chong.
Thank you, counsels. So, witness? Will you please state your full name for the record?
I am Allison Chong.
Are you currently employed?
Yes, ma'am.
Where are you employed?
At the Bureau of Immigration.
And what is your designation?
I am an Immigration Officer 1 assigned at the NAIA terminals.
As Immigration Officer 1 assigned at the NAIA terminal, what are your primary functions?
I work as a frontline immigration officer at NAIA. I screen arriving and departing passengers.
And pwede mo bang sabihin ngayon sa aming komite, bakit ka ba nandito ngayong hapon?
I am here to testify and expose the Pastillas scheme.
Now, I understand na meron kang dalang statement na gusto mong basahin. So, please do so.
I am employed at the Bureau of Immigration as Immigration Officer 1, a position I have held since the year 2012. My primary function as an immigration officer involves operating the immigration counter in Ninoy Aquino International Airport, wherein I am tasked to examine the travel documents of departing and arriving passengers rotating in its 3 terminals. As a frontline immigration officer, I have personally witnessed various illegal transactions over the years involving the extortion of money in exchange for unimpeded passage through the Philippines, whether leaving or entering our country. In 2016, the Department of Justice removed the so-called overtime pay of immigration officers. Consequently, this resulted in general unrest and disgruntlement among the immigration workforce. To cope with the substantial deduction of their salaries, some immigration officers decided to offer VIP services for immigrants who are casino high rollers. This VIP service involved immigration officers accepting 2,000 pesos for each high roller in exchange for the latter's convenient and seamless immigration. Sensing the immigration officer's lucrative operation, the Travel Control Enforcement Unit chiefs, namely Bien Guevara, Glenn Comia, and Den Binsol, who were then under former Ports Operation Division Chief Red Marinas, decided to take over the operation. They took control of the collections from entering and departing passengers, then disbursed commissions at the end of every week. The TCEU chiefs were relieved from their posts sometime in the middle of the year 2019. As for POD Chief Red Marinas, he was assigned as Associate Commissioner of the Bureau of Immigration. However, he later resigned to run as Mayor of Muntinlupa. On the year 2017, I started to notice the dramatic increase of Chinese nationals entering the Philippines. In a day, approximately 2,000 Chinese nationals enter the airport terminal. Immigration officers received through a group chat in the Viber application a list of names of Chinese nationals who were to be allowed entry into the Philippines without going through the usual immigration process. These Chinese nationals were no longer required to undergo screening. They were simply let inside the Philippines without question or investigation. However, the first Viber group chat was deleted when the Bureau of Immigration Airport Operations came under scrutiny from the National Bureau of Investigation. To avoid detection, the names of the Chinese nationals who were to be allowed VIP treatment were no longer sent through Viber. To circumvent this, the flow of the operations changed. The immigration officers at the counter were asked to bring each Chinese national to the holding area of the TCEU. A member of the TCEU would then check if the name of the Chinese national was in a master list. If the Chinese national's name was on the list, then he or she would be allowed entry into the Philippines without further screening or profiling. Naturally, this new operation caused the immigration officers great inconvenience since they had to stand up, leave their seats, then lead each and every arriving Chinese national to the TCEU holding area every day. Because of this, a new Viber group chat was created, which revived the original flow of the operations. News of the operation spread fast. This time, other syndicated groups within the Bureau of Immigration started submitting their own list of names of Chinese nationals. These groups worked with travel agencies in China, the latter being the origin of the names of the entering foreign nationals. The syndicated groups would often compete with each other to gain favor from the Chinese travel agencies. These syndicated groups were headed by different personalities within the Bureau of Immigration. Some of these personalities are Totoy Magbuhos, Deon Albao, alias Nancy, Paul Borja, alias Lisa, Anthony Lopez, alias AL, and Dennis Robles, alias DR. They occupy various plantilla positions within the Bureau. They still maintain their syndicate group's operations. I noticed that Chinese nationals who fit the profile of an employee for a POGO company enter our country with a tourist visa applied for with the Philippine consulates. The influence of these Chinese organizations and personalities became more apparent when they started providing immigration officers lunch meals wrapped in Chinese newspapers. However, this recently stopped due to the travel ban on incoming Chinese nationals due to the novel coronavirus. Each cooperating immigration officer would receive around 20,000 pesos weekly for Terminal 1 and 8,000 weekly for Terminal 3 duties. When I saw on television the live broadcast of the Senate hearing chaired by Senator Risa Ontiveros regarding the rise of POGO-related prostitution and heard discussion of the possible involvement of the Bureau of Immigration, I was compelled to come forward and share what I know based on my personal knowledge as a frontline immigration officer.
Is that the end of your statement?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Chong. Thank you, Alex. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of Senator Amy Marcos. Thank you for joining our hearing this afternoon. Mr. Chong, Alex, sino po yung mga admin ng mga Viber chat na binanggit mo sa iyong statement?
Yes, ma'am. The Viber chat admins, marami po ito. But yung marirecall ko po ngayon, I will state them here. So,
Please do so.
so from the past and the present, yung nare-recall ko ngayon, here are the Viber chat admins. Ralph Garcia, Paul Villanueva, Ernest Gabe Estacio, Danilo Diodor, Fahad Calaca.
And yung pinapakita namin ngayon na Viber screenshots, authentic po ba ito?
Yes, ma'am.
Since they are authentic, ma-identify mo po ba yung mga miyembro ng mga Viber chat groups na ito?
Yes, ma'am. Given enough time, I can identify them all. I can put them down on a list, pero sobrang dami po nito. Too many to mention here right now.
Too many to mention, pero As you said, given the time, maililista mo in writing,
Yes, ma'am. To the best of my knowledge.
to the best of your knowledge. At anong ibig mong sabihin nung sinabi mo na Chinese nationals are allowed in the Philippines nang walang screening, questioning, or investigation? Bakit? Ano ba ang normal procedure dapat sa mga entering foreign nationals? Pwede mo bang i-walk through yung komiteng ito sa procedure na ito?
Yes, ma'am. Para sa Chinese tourists, hahanapan natin yan first ng return flight, return ticket going back to China. So for example, if they are staying here for about a week, hahanapan natin ng return ticket. Second, of course, yung hotel booking or place to stay. Then third, yung mahalaga, yung itinerary. Ano ba talaga ang gagawin nila dito? Yan ba ay maglalaro ng casino, magda-diving ba yan, mamamasyal? So, doon pa lang makikita natin ano yung intent, ano yung purpose of travel nila. And fourth, in some cases, hinahanapan din natin yan ng proof of financial capacity, like credit cards. And yung pinakamabilis na way to screen a passenger is pag nakitaan natin siya ng proof of travels from other countries. So let's say nagta-travel ito sa Canada or kahit Singapore. So makikita natin na frequent traveler itong person na to. So more or less, legitimate tourist ito. But there are cases, and there have been a lot of cases, na pagbukas mo ng passport, makikita mo nagwo-work sa Cambodia. Itong Chinese passenger. So doon pa lang malalaman mo na since yung mga POGO galing sa Cambodia, tinanggal sila doon, alam mo na kaagad na mag-work yun dito sa POGO. Doon pa lang. So red flags. So both nakikita namin yung red flags and yung proof, real proof na siya nga isang tourist.
And curious nga, no, yung nabanggit mo na galing sa Cambodia is maaring isang red flag. Bakit marami ba sa mga dumarating na maraming Chinese nationals gamit ang tourist visa in the past few years ay napapansin ninyo, nare-red flag nyo na galing sa Cambodia?
Yes, ma'am. Marami po talaga. As in, ang estimate ko dyan, mga nasa one-third. One-third. Estimate po.
Malaki-laking fraction nga yun. And pag sinabi mo kanina, noong sinabi mo na hindi na tinatanong, hindi na iniimbestiga, hindi na siniscreen, ibig sabihin, hindi na hinahanapan itong mga return flight, hotel booking, itinerary, proof of financial capacity, at proof of travels from other countries?
Yes, ma'am. Basta po nasa listahan yung pangalan, wala nang ibang questions asked. Tataka agad pasok.
Ngayon, sa huling hearing namin, no, bukod dito sa mga Viber screenshots, may pinakita din akong video. Gusto kong ipakita muli ang video na ito at baka pwede mo kaming tulungang mas maintindihan ito.
Follow me.
So at any point, no, anong nakikita namin dito? Anong pinapanood namin dito? You may interject.
Ito po yung
Please have a seat first.
ito po yung daily operation ng NAIA Terminal 1 graveyard shift. So 8 PM to 5 AM. So maraming
Follow me.
Chinese flights ito dumarating. Andito yung concentration ng Chinese flights. Flights from China.
Please wait here.
So yan pong loob, yan ang holding area ng TCEU.
Dami. Wala talaga eh.
Itong taong to, si TCEU member siya.
Kahapon, naglagay ng sabi ko wag kasi
At nasa kanya yung listahan.
Mas maganda rin i-refer nyo na lang sa amin dito. Kami na maglakad.
And
safe
yun nga,
sa ating lahat.
dahil nung time na yan, nakakalat
Tatlo kami doon eh, counter.
NBI
Kasi admin.
agents.
Ay, okay na to, ma'am.
We think it was NBI agents na nakakalat all throughout the
Yes, ma'am.
NAIA
Kasi-
terminals, kaya naghigpit.
Bako mo na lang ito.
Ah.
Alanganin.
Yes, boss. Thank you,
Yung taong yan yung na-identify sa previous hearing ni Mr. Medina
Follow me.
na
You
sinabi
here.
nila na na-reassign na.
Opo. Bale, tinanggal po siya sa TCEU and then binalik siya sa immigration counters sa frontline.
Kasama to?
Nasa Terminal
Meron
3
pa?
po siya, graveyard.
Isa-isa. O sige,
Graveyard shift.
dalawa para mabilis.
Nilipat sa aling terminal?
Terminal 3.
Terminal.
Apo.
And just to clarify, po,
Wala,
itong
wala.
pinapakita nating
Siyempre,
sistema, ito yung system na wala na kasi dahil napagod
Akin yan, di ba?
ang mga immigration officers sa kakatayo, kaya balik
Two at a
fiber
time.
na.
Yes, ma'am. At
Okay.
ang isa pang nilang
Next.
naging takot dyan, minsan kasi sobrang dami na nung Chinese passengers dun sa loob ng holding area. Hindi na magkasya, parang lumalabas na. And parang mas magiging halata ng NBI na maraming ang pinapasok sa loob tapos lumalabas. So, mas may expose yung operation pag ganon. So, binalik nila yung dating Viber group. Ang isa pa nilang takot noon is baka magreklamo rin daw yung may ganyan din na anggulo na magreklamo yung Chinese embassy kasi bakit maraming masyadong Chinese nationals na nasa holding area. Punong-puno, as in hindi nakasya doon.
So may special treatment na sa holding area, maaaring ireklamo pa ng embassy nila.
Yung anggulo po ma'am na marami daw nire-refer na Chinese nationals.
At yung babaeng nakaupo dun sa tabi ng TCEU officer, siya daw ay translator.
Tama po yun, Your Honor. Ano siya? Translator, interpreter ng mga Chinese passengers.
Ikaw ba ang kumuha ng video na ito?
Yes, ma'am.
Bakit mo kinuha yung video na ito?
Kasi, ang sukdulan na po Gusto ko po i-expose talaga itong nangyayari sa immigration. May karapatan po kasing malaman ang bawat Pilipino.
At yung mga photos na kaninang ipinakita, kailan mo kinuha yung mga photos na yon?
Ito pong photos na to. Kasama po yan dun sa, actually, nakapost po yan dun sa Viber group. May nagpipicture po niyan and then lahat naman po nakita yan within the Viber group.
At pati yung video, balik tayo sa video, kailan mo kinuha yung video na iyan?
This is July of 2019. May timestamp po yun.
So sigurado ka na 2019 ang kuhang ito na
Yes,
video?
ma'am. And we can also check the attendance doon. Opo.
And kanina sabi mo nga, kaya mong i-identify itong tao, itong lalaki na nag-check ng list.
Yes, ma'am.
Nasa loob pa siya ng DI.
Yes, ma'am. Currently assigned sa NAIA Terminal 3 graveyard shift.
Ngayon, Mr. Chong, Alex, no? Binanggit mo rin yung mga syndicate groups na sa loob ng BI na nagtatrabaho kasama ng mga travel agencies sa China. At nagko-compete sila, sabi mo, nagko-compete sila sa isa't isa para maging itong syndicate group sa BI, nagko-compete sa isa't isa para maging favored contacts ng mga Chinese travel agencies. May binanggit kang mga pangalan na kanina na identified or head sa mga syndicate group sa loob ng BI. Isa-isahin nating ulit, no? Kasi gusto kong itanong sa iyo, ano exactly ang involvement nila. Binanggit mo una si Bien Guevara. Ano ba yung involvement niya?
Yes, Your Honor. Si Bien Guevara, siya yung during the time of Red Marinas as the POD chief, siya yung TCEU head ng NAIA Terminal 2. Tapos under po niya lahat ng TCEU doon.
Yung binanggit mong POD, yun yung kasalukuyang pinamumunuan ni Mr. Grifton Medina. So
Yes.
sila yung nagpalit kay Mr. Red Marinas.
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. Binanggit mo rin si Glenn Comia. Ano naman yung exactly involvement niya?
Glenn Comia is the TCEU head of NAIA Terminal 3 at that time.
Ano ulit yung first name ni Pinsol? Hindi ko na-catch.
Den Binsol.
Den Pinsol. Ano yun naman yung exact involvement nila?
Sorry, Your Honor. I'll make a correction, no? Den Binsol is the NAIA Terminal 3 TCEU head. And si Glenn Comia sa NAIA Terminal 1.
And last but not the least, dun sa unang grupo ng mga pangalang binanggit mo, again, for the record, si Red Marinas, ano exactly ang involvement niya?
Okay, si Red Marinas, tao niya, si Glenn Comia, si Den Binsol, at saka si Bien Guevara. So, he installed them during his time as POD chief.
So, bukod sa designations nitong unang apat na mga taong binanggit mo, starting with Red Marinas, tapos yung tatlong taong sinabi mo mga tao niya at siya ang nag-appoint or nag-install sa kanilang mga posisyon noon, ano yung mga involvement ng bawat isa nitong apat dun sa Pastillas operation na in-expose mo dito sa aming komite?
Yes, ma'am. Specifically, let's start with Glenn Comia. Since hawak niya yung NAIA Terminal 1, which has the highest concentration of flights from China. So, bale, sa kanya dumadaan lahat nung ano dun eh. Yung hawak niya yung isa sa mga pinakamalaking supplier ng Chinese passengers, as shown po dito sa sample ng accounts receivable ng NAIA Terminal 3. Ang code name nga niya is GC pa at that time. And then, after nung ma-expose nga sila, nag-evolve, naging orange, so nagkaroon na sila ng code names. So, ang involvement po niya, isa siya sa pinakamalaking supplier ng Chinese passengers. So, siya yung pinaka-conduit from the, what do you call this, travel agencies from China. Kasi from China, tapos may travel agency yan dito or kung sino mang liaison nila na tao, then through Glenn Comia. Ganon din kay Den Binsol. And then si Bien Guevara, I do not know kung sino ang nagsusupply sa kanya o kung nagsusupply man siya. But more of like, since NAIA Terminal 2, hawak niya lahat, tumatakbong operation doon, command responsibility. Opo.
And si Red Marinas, ano ang direct involvement niya exactly dito sa Pastillas operations?
Okay, bali ang magiging, to the best of my knowledge, ang involvement ni Red Marinas is tao niya kasi, itong mga to. Siya ang nag-install dyan specifically sa kanilang tatlo and they report to him.
Nasa BI pa ba ang mga taong ito? Kasi alam ko si Red Marinas wala na doon. May influence pa ba sila? Siya at yung tatlo pang tao, may influence pa ba?
Meron po, Your Honor. Actually, the way I see it, no, ang Bureau of Immigration is a government agency. It belongs to the Filipino people. It is not, hindi nila ito personal na pagmamay-ari. Masyado po kasing deep yung roots sa Bureau of Immigration na yung mga matatagal ng empleyado dyan, sila na talaga yung nagko-control ng ahensya. Tapos takot lahat sa kanila kasi syempre, ano yan eh, politika yan eh. Yung paano na yung career ko, paano na yung ganito, mapag-iinitan ba ako, itatapon ba ako sa Mindanao. So, anyway, going back to the question po, Your Honor, si Red Marinas has already resigned because he ran for mayor. Then si Den Binsol, Glenn Comia, Bien Guevara, has been reassigned to another unit. And meron nga itong unit na kinreate, tawag dito ATG, Anti-Terrorism Group. Ito yung parang nagiging, anong tawag natin dito, tambayan nila. Kasi, saan ba sila ilalagay kung hindi naman mag-create ng bagong group for them? So, palamig muna, tapos, pagka nawala tong issue, balik ulit. Ganyan naman yan eh. Ganyan ang style dyan.
So ganyang kaimportanteng trabaho sa pangalan pa lang anti-terrorism group, nagiging tambayan lang nung 3 taong ito.
Ma'am, in my own opinion po, no, ang anti-terrorism group, bagong grupo lang yan eh. Wala yan dati eh. Bakit tayo mag-create ng ATG, ika nga, anti-terrorism group, kung meron naman tayong BI Intel, Interpol, na talagang gumagawa na ng mga trabahong yan. So, ginawa lang yan para, ika nga, tambayan. Kasi ito namang mga to, nasa BI lang naman to para magpayaman eh. Pasensya na po sa medyo nadadala lang ako, Your Honor, kasi yun lang po talaga nararamdaman ko eh. Kami naman po mga nasa front lines eh, nagtatrabaho ng araw-araw, tapos sila pagka wala nang kinikita na ganyan eh, papahinga lang.
Ngayon, yung isa pang grupo na binanggit mo, sina Totoy Magbuhos, Deon Albao, alias Nancy, Paul
Yes, ma'am.
Borja, alias Lisa, mga lalaki pero alias babae, Anthony Lopez, alias AL, at Dennis Robles o DR. Sino-sino naman sila dito sa Pastillas operation na ito?
Yes, ma'am, iisa-isahin ko po sila.
And
Ito po mga
Mr. Chong, Alex, may I remind the witness to stick to personal knowledge and refrain from giving too many opinions. Personal knowledge po tayo. So, dito po sa 5 susunod na mga tao.
Yes, Your Honor. Para po kay Dennis Robles, DR, alam ko po recently nagkaroon ng inalis po lahat ng terminal heads, pinalitan. Si Dennis Robles, siya yung terminal head, Terminal 2. Isa po siya sa pinakamalaking supplier din ng Chinese passengers. Dion Albao used to be with the TCEU din, under Glenn Comian. Natanggal din siya sa TCEU, nasa ATG siya ngayon. Isa rin siya sa pinakamalaking supplier ng Chinese passengers. The same po with Paul Borja. Magkasama po sila na galing din sa TCEU. Anthony Lopez used to be a TCEU head, Terminal 3. Siya po yung pumalit kay Den Binsol for a while nung matanggal si Den Binsol. And then, ngayon, wala na rin siya dun sa position na yun. And then, supplier din po siya ng Chinese passengers.
Isa pa.
Did I miss? GC. Si Totoy Magbuhos naman.
Totoy Magbuhos.
Marami rin po siya, Chinese passengers. Pero dati ko po siyang supervisor sa counter. Then, pero matagal na yun. Then now, I don't know kung ano pong designation niya.
Mr. Chong, can you pakitignan mo yung mga BI officials na nandito sa session hall sa ngayon?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sino sa personal knowledge mo, sino sa kanila ang may personal knowledge ka na tumatanggap din ng pastillas o may kinalaman dito?
Wala po, Your Honor.
Wala po rito. You're certain of that. You can only identify others who are not in this room.
Yes, Your Honor.
Alright, thank you for that. Ngayon, sa huling hearing ko, nagtanong din ako sa mga opisyal ng BI na yung iba ay nandirito muli ngayon. At pinipresume ko yung mga officials ng BI ay mga boss mo. Tinanong ko silang lahat, 4 sila nung nakaraang hearing, kung alam nila kung ano ang pastillas. Sabi nila, local delicacy, sweets na gawa sa Bulacan. Ikaw, Alex, tanungin kita, bilang Immigration Officer 1 ng BI, ano ang pastillas?
Your Honor, pastillas is Chinese money that is used to bribe immigration officers so they can freely enter our country.
So hindi talaga local delicacy lang nagawa sa Bulacan at Matamis. Napakapait nito, no?
Hindi po, Your
Suhol.
Honor. Suhol po
Alright.
talaga.
And is it a common term sa mga NAIA terminals natin? Is it a common term para dito sa Chinese money used to bribe BI officers?
Yes, Your Honor. Kasi nung bandang una, binabalot pa yan sa bond paper. Tapos nagtatawanan yung mga tao pag binibigay, mukha daw pastillas. Tapos po noon, nag-evolve na siya sa naging ano na, yung brown envelopes, payout envelopes. And then recently, naging ano na, nasa goma na lang. Minsan nakagoma na lang. Ang tawag pa nga dyan, pag swelduhan na, pastillas time. Ang tawag dyan, pastillas time.
Okay. It sounds worse and worse, no? Habang nalalaman natin yung mga detalye.
Yes, Your Honor.
Pinakita ko rin yung breakdown, hatian ng pastillas na ito nung nakaraang hearing. Pag pastillas time na ika nga. Kino-confirm mo ba ang breakdown na ito?
Yes, Your Honor. As of that date, no? And then, since natatakot nga sila na ma-expose ito, malamang may mga changes na dyan or may mga internal arrangement. Pero I confirm that authentic po yan.
At mukhang meron talagang formula na ginagamit para i-compute magkano sa absolute value ng Philippine peso ang bawat percentage na naka-assign dito sa anim na personnel or official na ito.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. Ano po yan? Pinagmitingan po nila yan. So, syempre, nagkaroon sila ng negotiations. They agreed to that.
So, bilang pagsasara sa panimulang pagtatanong ng komite sa iyo, Mr. Chong, Alex, ano ba yung nagtulak sa iyo para mag-come forward at sabihin sa aming komite ang itong mga nalalaman mo?
Your Honor, para sa akin po, dalawang bagay ang pinakamalaking factor. Una sa lahat, I feel na yun pong mga kasamahan kong immigration officers, they have been enslaved by this corrupt system. And whether or not they were aware of it, biktima din sila. And I wanted to free them from this system. That is why I am making this sacrifice. Pangalawa, may karapatan pong malaman ang bawat Pilipino kung ano pong nangyayari sa ahensya ng gobyerno na ito, especially borders po natin yung kailangan bantayan. Feeling ko po, invasion po ito. Feeling ko po. So, I made this sacrifice.
Well, actually, ginamit ko rin yung ganong description na hindi lamang investments, parang nagiging invasion at sa huli, well, nung mga krimen laban sa babae at bata na iniimbestiga ng komite ko. Pero kumusta ka na pala ngayon mula nung nagsimula itong pagtinig namin? Yung mga colleagues mo ba, yung mga boss mo ba nag-reach out sa iyo para mag-get in touch sa iyo?
May mga tumatawag po sa akin mga number, hindi ko naman po sinasagot. Tapos may na hindi ko po alam. And then may mga disappearing chats pa sa Viber na hindi ko po nababasa.
Yun na
And then,
nga, ano na nangyari dun sa yung mga Viber groups na member ka?
Immediately po, Your Honor, after po nung first hearing nyo, nung in-expose po nyo to, nag-dissolve ka agad sila. Siyempre po, magtatago yan, mag-burrow yan sila underground. And then, ang feeling ko po ngayon is, wala, nag-sacrifice na ako. I don't think I can go back to my work as an immigration officer kasi, siyempre, galit na sa akin yung bureau.
So this is how you feel right now, this afternoon,
And yung
Alex?
more on sa, ano po, Your Honor, yung safety lang po ng pamilya ko kasi I've been receiving death threats na rin po.
I know, and the committee is very concerned about that and appreciates yung pag-appear mo together with all our other resource persons pa rin ngayong hapon. But in speaking about your colleagues at yung mga boss mo, gaya kanina, sinabi mo sa komite na wala dito sa session hall yung mga opisyal ng BI na may kinalaman dito sa Pastillas operation. In the same way, nagko-concur ka ba or hindi ka ba nagko-concur dun sa isa sa mga unang remarks ko na hindi lahat ng frontline, mid-level, and low-level BI employees ay nakikihati sa Pastillas operation na iyan?
I concur, Your Honor. Pero kung bibigyan ko po kayo ng parang percentage, para po sa akin, mga 10% na lang yung hindi kasama sa modus.
Alright, iaalamin niya ng komite because ang mind naman ng bawat Senate committee dito, and gusto kong iput on record yan sa lahat ng resource persons, no matter how big or how small yung percentage ng mga reform-minded sa anumang ahensya ng ating gobyerno na nagkakaproblema, ay that may be a good enough starting point para ipagpatuloy yung mga reforma, yung mga pagwawasto, given yung shocking na revelations na nalalaman namin sa ganitong mga hearing in aid of legislation, and particular sa aming komite in aid of pagpoprotekta sa mga babae at mga batang nabibiktima nitong mga illegal POGO operations at yung mga krimen na dala-dala nila. So for now, maraming salamat Mr. Chong, Alex, para sa iyong mga sagot sa mga panimulang tanong ng aming komite. I'd like to turn now sa Bureau of Immigration. Preliminary question muna kay Grifton Medina before I move on to the Commissioner. So, Mr. Medina, ayon kay Alex, nag-delete na daw ng mga Viber groups. Na-monitor nyo po ba ito na nagka-deletan na ng mga Viber groups?
Ma'am, I'm not aware of the Viber groups per terminals as the witness is saying. As of now, we do have Viber groups for supervisors, for deputy heads, for section heads, to cascade information, especially with regard to memos or like urgent instructions from the commissioner, or at this time we have the COVID-19. We still have those Viber groups that I am aware of. But the Viber groups that the witness is saying is I haven't seen one, and I cannot confirm kung nawala na po or nandyan pa.
Before moving on to the Commissioner, Mr. Medina, gusto ko lang ulitin yung sinabi ko actually mula pa ng unang hearing, na actually it's getting a bit tiresome to hear from you, no, with all due respect, yung repeated na mga not aware, I do not know, lalo na gaya ng sinabi ko rin nung unang hearing natin na I've heard some good things about you and you seem to be an intelligent man. Kaya talagang nandun pa rin yung hindi ako makapaniwala na you don't know or officials at your level are completely unaware of this. At nasabi ko noong unang hearing, it's just maybe unfortunate para po sa inyo na you're the one I have to ask the questions of about the BI. Well, mabuti na lang for our committee as well. Andito ngayong hapon si Commissioner. So I will ask additional major questions kay Commissioner Morente. Commissioner, gusto ko po talagang magkaroon ng better understanding at para sa understanding ng aming komite. Understanding po dun sa appointing powers sa BI. Who appointed who? So for starters, kayo po ba nag-appoint kay Grifton Medina sa Ports Operation Division na siyang pumalit kay Red Marinas?
Your Honor, good afternoon. To answer the question, hindi po ako ang nag-appoint. It is always the Justice Secretary. Even in the case of Red Marinas, when I entered the Bureau in 2016, it was Secretary Aguirre who appointed him, Your Honor.
And kayo po ba, so okay, SOJ sabi nyo, laging ang SOJ nag-a-appoint. Pero kayo po ba yung nag-appoint sa mga TCEU heads?
I leave leave it to the decision of the chief of the POD, Port Operations Division, but pino-forward ho nila sa amin yung mga pangalan. And then the orders emanate from the Office of the Commissioner, Your Honor.
So parang kayo yung last touch doon sa i-appoint or gustong i-appoint ng POD head.
Upon the recommendation of the Chief POD, Your Honor.
Meron po ba kayong mga lower officials sa inyo sa bureau na ang commissioner mismo ang nag-a-appoint?
The arrangement, the present arrangement with the Justice Secretary is for division heads, we just recommend and then they will screen, but these people are being screened also by the Personnel Selection Board ng Bureau, and then we come up with a short list, we forward it to the Secretary, and the Department of Justice will appoint them yung sa division level. For the section level, I also have to ask permission from the Department of Justice because of the very limited authority that I have based on the very old law that we have, the 1940 Philippine Immigration Act, and it is also being supported by the Administrative Code of 1987, plus the Civil Service Circulars pertaining to the powers of the agency head, specifically the Bureau of Immigration Chief. I do not even have disciplinary powers, Your Honor. That's the problem that I have. That's why I'm working for the passing of a new immigration law, which would correct the system, Your Honor.
Yes, just to put on record, I have
Please, Senator
filed
Amy.
actually a new draft for an immigration law precisely addressing those concerns.
Thank you,
Thank you
Sen.
very
Amy,
much,
and the chair will probably join you and support you in that, support Senator Amy, as one of the probable policy recommendations of the Committee on Women, our committee, to come out of these hearings. Kasi wala po bang ina-appoint directly and solely ng commissioner? Medyo nakakagulat po. And sabi nyo nga po, you have no disciplinary powers, and yet you were able to at least start disciplinary proceedings or impose disciplinary actions on initially five BI personnel. We read that in the media. Wala po ba kayong diretsong ina-appoint?
I have to inform also the Secretary that I was reshuffling, removing the terminal heads since there is an ongoing investigation. I created, Your Honor, a fact-finding committee chaired by Deputy Commissioner Javier. Their job will only be to investigate, and then they come up with a recommended administrative action, which I will also recommend only to the Secretary of Justice. If only I would be given the authority, I would suspend all of these people pending the conduct of the investigation. Although this I will communicate with Secretary Guevara, Your Honor.
Medyo nakakalito po kasi na at least sa pagdinig namin, iba't ibang appointing powers, and even more nakakagulat na yung commissioner ng isang napaka-importanting bureau, which is our frontline border guards, ay wala po kayong specific na appointing powers na exclusive sa inyong office with the disciplinary powers that flow from that.
Meron naman po, Your Honor. My appointing power is limited to contractual employees. So, pag nagkamali ang contractual employee or JO, I can terminate them immediately. But for plantilla position employees, there is the civil service rule that the appointing authority is the dismissing authority. So, these powers I do not have for the plantilla officers, Your Honor.
Before we continue with the commissioner, matanong ko lang kay Alex, no? May mga JO ba na nagdi-deal sa mga Chinese tourists kung POGO workers? Sa pagkalam mo.
Sa personal knowledge ko po, meron po tayong mga JO or yung mga non-plantilla positions na nasa airport who are, yes, they are part of the Pastillas scheme.
Mga ilang porsyento yung mga JO, ilang porsyento yung mga plantilla, frontline personnel na bahagi nitong Pastillas operation?
Sa mga JO po,
Saka anong functions niyang mga JO na nagdi-deal with yung mga Chinese tourists?
okay, for example po, no? And correct me if I'm wrong if they are not JO. Yung interpreter, translator, since they can speak Chinese, Mandarin, sila mismo po connected sila sa mga Chinese, if not the Chinese travel agencies, sila mismo connected sila.
Pero isang halimbawa lang yon. So meron pa bang ibang JO na frontline na nakikipag-interact sa mga Chinese tourists na yan? Are they like 1% of those in the Pastillas operation or 10% or more?
Sa pagkakaalam ko po, kapag JO, nandoon po to sa BCIU, yung Intel nga, nandyan po yung maraming JO. Opo. Yung pong salubong, yung pong mga nagpapapila, andyan po yan, yung mga JO. And yung mga ibang TCEU staff, JO din yon.
BCIU, napaka-importanting unit, Intel. So, but with your enumeration so far, 1/3 ba ng mga nasa Pastillas operation ay mga JO? Would you be able to estimate kung anong proportion nila na nakapaloob sa operasyon na ito?
Yes, Your Honor, more or less, mga 1/3.
Mga 1/3. All right. I'll return now to, yes, of course, Senator Amy.
Pwede pong magtanong kasi binabasa ko lang yung memo circular na inilabas ni Secretary Aguirre noon, yung Department Circular 041, yung August 15, 2017. Grabe ang kapangyarihan na binigay sa POD at sa SOCO, di ba? Talagang halos lahat pwede lang gawin sa visa on arrival. Tatanong ko, angkop sa palagay ninyo, Commissioner Morente, at ang balita ko si Mr. Medina, nag-aral pa sa US tungkol sa immigration law. Sa palagay ninyo, tama po ba itong sistemang lahat ng kapangyarihan, halos, sa visa, pag binasa mo, pwede mong iban yung mga Chinese travel agents, pwede kang mag-diskarte, pwede kang mag-extend ng 6 months, ibigay ng visa, mas mahaba pa. Sa palagay ninyo, tama po ba to na halos yung Bureau of Immigration, lahat ng kapangyarihan ninyo napunta sa POD at sa SOCO? Tama po ba yung ganun?
To answer indirectly, Your Honor, that's why I recommended that the visa upon arrival should only be 1 month, which was adopted by the Secretary Guevara, and he issued an amendment to this na hindi na extendable and it should be ticket-based. Kung nakalagay sa ticket na 1 week siya, the order of the visa upon arrival contains the dates of his arrival and his departure. Non-extendable, non-convertible to other visas, Your Honor.
Pero sino ang magbibigay? Asa kamay pa rin ba ng POD at ng SOCO? Or naibabalik sa mas mataas na opisyal? O may kapangyarihan ba kayo sa bureau na magsalita? Sapagkat parang sa kanila na lahat eh.
Your Honor, the visa upon arrival is processed in the Office of the Commissioner. We forward the copies of the visa to the travel agencies who applied for it, and then forward the same to the Port Operations for their copies para pag dumating po na andon. And it is already automated. Nakalagay na ho doon sa ano namin that these are the control numbers for the different visa upon arrivals, Your Honor.
Po natin na yung documentary compliance, madali naman ibigay lahat ng mga papeles na yan, true or not true. Ang totoo, wala nang alam at wala nang saliksik sapagkat talagang dependent rin kayo sa mga frontliners, hindi po ba?
Dinadaan po sa amin kasi yung application yan. The purpose of the application being passed through the Office of the Commissioner 10 days prior minimum
The information
for
derived,
derogatory check, Your Honor.
but the information derived has made some writers such as Cinnamon Tulfo, di ba, sinabi na parang nagiging kwan lang kayo, lame duck daw ang commissioner pagkat nandun sa frontliners lahat ng kapangyarihan at lahat ng mga sikat na hawak ng Marinas. Tama po ba?
That was the general impression he had, Your Honor.
And actually, the words used were lame duck, si Morente, at saka figurehead lang, sayang daw si Medina. Ano hong reaction ninyo sa mga salitang ganun?
Well, I think these are realities dahil limited nga ho ang authority na ibinigay ng lumang batas ng immigration, Your Honor.
Okay. Meron lang akong hirit, no, kay Alice Tunchong na parang hindi ninyo nababanggit yung Fidel Mendoza. Wala kayong personal knowledge or naririnig tungkol doon? Kasi parang yun ang pinaka-maingay na pangalan eh.
Yes, Your Honor, kilala ko po si Fidel Mendoza. Dati po siyang, nilagyan po siya ng, gumawa na naman ng bagong position doon beside the POD chief. Beside the POD chief's office siya mismo. Doon. POD, ano to? Chief of staff, parang ganon. So, again, in my point of view, since si Fidel Mendoza, kanang kamay siya ni Red Marinas, he was there beside the POD chief para i-oversee yung mga modus within the bureau.
Meron ka bang hindi nababanggit yung Erwin Ortañez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Kilala po ninyo yon?
Kilala ko po, Your Honor. Si Erwin Ortañez po is the overall TCEU head during Red Marinas time as POD chief. So, under niya, si Glenn Comia, na minention ko earlier, then Binson.
Yun yung mga nabanggit mo.
Bien Guevara.
Kaya lang tataka ako, bakit hindi binanggit yung nasa taas? Yung binanggit mo yung nasa baba eh.
Yes, Your Honor. Hindi ko po nabanggit kasi yung nag-focus po ako dun sa mga alam ko pong nagsusupply mismo ng Chinese passengers po, yung related po sa POGO. Pero yun, tao po niya yun. Tao po niya yung mga yun. Siya po yung pinaka leader nila.
Ulit-ulit mo binabanggit si Mark Red Marinas. Pagkatapos niyang tumakbo ng eleksyon nung Mayo, nasa na siya?
Your Honor, natalo po siya sa Muntinlupa and then wala na po siya sa Bureau of Immigration since nag-resign po siya.
Hindi na siya bumalik,
Hindi na po bumalik.
pero lahat ng galamay niya nandun pa rin. Wala naman nasiba.
Wala po, Your Honor.
Yung ama niya, yung sinasabing father and son tandem, nasa na po ba si Maynardo Marinas?
Si Maynardo Marinas, I am not sure kung connected pa siya sa Bureau. Pero ang dati po niyang position, nasa SOCU, head SOCU doon. So ang nangyari po kasi, from my point of view and from opinion po to ng mga immigration officers, yung SOCU and yung kinreate yan para i-hijack yung powers ng Commissioner's Office. Tapos, yun namang, yan sa POD, yung kaya nilagay dyan si Fidel Mendoza as yung Chief of Staff ba yan, pero wala na siya dyan ngayon, tinanggal na Para naman, i-hijack naman niya yung powers ng POD Chief. Yun po, ma'am. That's just my,
Maraming
how we
salamat.
see it,
Thank you.
Your
Oo.
Honor.
Yun yung mga pangalan ko naririnig Yung Dimples Malyari, nandyan pa ba?
Nandyan pa po, Your Honor. si Dimples Malyari. Pero hindi ko po siya nakikita sa airport.
Pero kilala mo.
Kilala ko po.
Makikilala mo kapag may retrato.
Yes, Your Honor.
Pwedeng itanong kay Commissioner at kay Mr. Medina, ano na ang balita kay Fidel Mendoza?
Your Honor, si Fidel Mendoza po, inilipat na because his item is security guard 2. Kaya tinanggal ko sa airport and he is placed in assignment sa main office, Your Honor. Just doon sa question nyo rin kanina, Mr. Maynard Marinas has already retired last year, Your Honor.
Yes, yung Erwin Ortañez, may nakakaalam ba kung nasan?
Erwin Ortañez, Your Honor, is with the Port Operations Division under Gipton Medina.
Mr. Medina is shaking his head po.
Is, I think, right now with the BCIU. But BCIU is not under Port Operations. And
Ano ho yung VCIU? Pasensya po, hindi ko alam.
Border Control Intelligence Unit. Just want to clear po, ang Border Control Enforcement Intelligence Unit is not under POD or Port Operations or the airport. It's under the Office of the Commissioner and also TCU.
Teka, nalito ako dun
I stand corrected,
Nalito
Your
muna
Honor.
ako dito. Teka, dati-rati, si Erwin Ortañez nasaan po?
Your Honor, siya ang overall TCEU head dati.
Yeah, that's what I understood. Ang sabi, TCEU head dati. Former, no? Tapos, ano nangyari sa kanya? Asa na siya?
I transferred after the investigation on the expose of Mr. Montulfo, Your Honor. I transferred the functions of the Terminal Control Enforcement Unit and the BCIU, the Intelligence Unit, back to the control of the Office of the Commissioner so that there will be check and balance with the intent of removing some of the functions which were before under the control of the Chief of Port Operations, Your Honor.
So, he's directly under your supervision?
At present, Your Honor, he is under the Office of the Commissioner, Your Honor.
Senator
would
Ami,
he
we
be
will
willing
invite
to
that
help us?
person to the next hearing.
Would he be willing to help us with this investigation po?
I will require him, Your Honor, if he is required, if he is summoned.
And Mr. Fidel Mendoza, he is also under the Immigration Office, under the Commissioner po?
It's a main office, Your Honor. I will wait for the summon and inform them, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. I cede it to the chairman and to her better wisdom for the succeeding hearings.
Thank you, Senator Amy. So to continue po, but before I continue with the Commissioner, nagulat lang ako dun sa isang sagot nyo kay Senator Amy about para magkaroon ng check and balance. I don't think that your office deserves to only check and balance others. Dapat kayo, yung office nyo po talaga ang, hindi pa nga primus inter pares, not first among equals, pero clearly, and probably primarily through yung pag-amyenda namin sa 1940 law, clearly established operationally as at the very top of the Bureau. So to continue, Commissioner, alam ko po, cavalier din kayo, upperclassman ka nung late husband ko. And I know that you do or you should take seriously itong tanong ko na what measures have you undertaken since Monday, after Monday's hearing, to investigate the allegations that our committee heard in its hearing?
Yes, Your Honor. On February 17, I issued the letter directive creating the fact-finding committee to conduct the investigation on the Pastillas scheme, and I designated Deputy Commissioner Toby Javier as the chairman. They will be conducting the investigation. They will compose the board of, refer it to the Board of Discipline for appropriate legal assessment and come up with a recommendation. I also issued a show cause order to Acting Chief Port Operations Division, Mr. Grifton Medina, regarding the this incident. I also issued personnel orders for the relief of Immigration Officer 2, Chevy Chase Nanyong, assigning him to the admin division. He was because he was identified in the video, Your Honor. I issued a termination order for contractual Yanni M. Howe. He was also part of the video without prejudice to the filing of a criminal case against subject personnel. I issued a directive to the Port Operations Division Chief, the terminal heads, the TCEU, and BCIU to identify BI personnel involved in the scheme. On February 19, I sent a memorandum to SOJ requesting for the confirmation of the relief of the Acting Port Operations Division Chief as the investigation is presently ongoing. He should be assigned with the admin division as well.
May I clarify that you have asked for the relief of Mr. Grifton Medina?
Yes, Your Honor.
I see.
From the, I asked the permission of the Secretary of Justice, Your Honor.
Commissioner, the
this,
chair and including and Senator Ami, we would like to request that you give our committee copies of these letter directives, show cause order, personnel orders, termination orders, other directives and memoranda. All these 6 issuances that you mentioned, please
I will, Your
send
Honor.
copies to
Yes,
the committee.
yes, ma'am. Actually, Your Honor, these schemes are not very new to my knowledge because this has been reported to me for quite some time since I entered immigration. And I have took several measures already to address this, aside from the investigation done by another board of discipline, which was composed to investigate the news report by Mon Tulfo on the involvement of Port Operations Division's officers in the facilitation and escort service. Actually, last year, July 16, I personally asked Director Dante Gueran of the NBI to investigate the reports on trafficking and facilitation of Indian nationals in Clark and Calibo. I did this because I always wanted an independent out-of-agency investigation to do these things, knowing that if it would be in the bureau, there would be some bias because of the relationships between the persons involved.
I'm also glad, Commissioner, na binanggit nyo yung mga Indians, persons sa Clark and Calibo kasi ito, pinag-uusapan namin ni Senator Ami, itong issue na ito nanganganak ng iba't ibang issue at nakakarinig kami ng iba't ibang klaseng mga visa ng ating republika na inaabuso ng ganito't ganyang mga parties sa loob ng BI. And there was a time na may preferred visas na ginagamit para sa mga Indian nationals, but later, yung visang yun naman ay naging favored document na abusuhin para sa ibang grupo ng nationals, in this case, mga Chinese. So, nanganganak yung problemang ito, Commissioner. At gaya ng sinabi nyo, hindi po ito yung unang beses ng ganitong mga aligasyon laban sa BI tungkol sa pagtanggap ng kickback. So, bakit parang paulit-ulit po yung problema, no? Nare-resolve ba talaga natin o hindi?
Your Honor, I think naging kalakaran na ho kasi yan sa immigration. I think over the years, this has evolved into a syndicated cooperation na with my limited powers and mahirap po kasing i-address na buo. I cannot be in all places at the same time, but we do have some reform measures made. Gaya nung
Before you
streamlining.
proceed, Commissioner, on the reform measures, may I, however, may the committee, however, affirm the Commissioner of BI that, in fact, as our border guards, you have to be everywhere at every time. So titignan po namin ng aming komite ano yung policy recommendations na pwede namin gawin kaugnay nung yung batas ng Bureau of Immigration to enable it to effectively police our borders. In fact, to in effect, be everywhere at every time under the leadership of the Office of the Commissioner.
Yes, ma'am. What I meant was literally, I cannot be in all places at the same time. But one of our moves is automation para mawala na ho yung human contact. Recently, we have operationalized the electronic gates, but at present, I instructed for the closing of it because we wanted to effectively scrutinize the passports cover to cover because of the outbreak of the NCOV-19. Among the other measures that we are doing is the ease of doing business. I had to review when I entered the steps for all of these transactions. We are moving towards electronic payments. Hopefully, we could operationalize it. Yung Port Operations Division is already, ang inuna ko for the ISO certification, actually. They are certified 9001-2015 since 2018, but I know these measures cannot prevent kung meron talagang scalawags in our ranks. And there should be, on my own opinion, there should be immediate sanctions that could be done, at least mabigyan man lang sana commissioner and the deputy commissioners, administrative or disciplinary functions. Kasi madali ho sanang in these situations, where I come from sa PNP ako noon, madali hong there should be summary hearings para mai-dismiss natin, mai-suspend natin, matanggal natin yung mga tiwali. Kasi kung ipapasa lang namin sa Department of Justice, lang ho yun it will just stay there for a while. So hindi na-actionan sa dami ho nung ina-attenan din, I know, of the Department of Justice. Ma-archive lang ho yung mga cases na pinapadala namin sa kanila. Pwede pang lakarin ng mga tao na i-stay put na muna dyan hanggang magpalit ng bagong administration, saka na lang ilabas yan.
Speaking of the DOJ Commissioner, I'd actually like to move on to some questions ngayon kay Yusek Villar. But may I please request the Commissioner i-submit po yung comprehensive list ng mga measures na in-undertake nyo since Monday's hearing, pati po kung meron kayong comprehensive list ng mga reforms na sinimulan or pinagpapatuloy nyo sa loob ng BI. Actually, when you mentioned po yung ease of doing business, in the case of this Pastillas operation, masyado ngang naging easy yung doing business na umabot sa pang-aabuso na. And that's really what the committee would like to see you and the Mother Department, the Bureau and the Mother Department crack down on, especially, most especially, para protektahan yung ating mga kababaihan at mga bata. So please do submit that to the committee, Commissioner.
Will do,
Senator Amy.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sorry, if we're going to proceed to another topic, I'd just like to ask Mr. Alison Chong two very quick questions. Unang-una, ang balita kasi, lumobo yung numero ng mga fugitives from justice na China nationals. Doon sa ibang hearing, lumabas na 100 yung pangkaraniwan na numero kada taon. E noong nakaraang taon, bakit lumobo sa 733? So itatanong ko, may alam ka bang VVIP, mas VIP pa sa yung mga normal na VIP na China nationals. Kapag may blacklisting, may record na criminal, meron pang mas malaki.
Yes, Your Honor. Special arrangement yan. Yang kasama yan, yung mga blacklisted, they can freely enter our country. So,
Paano yun? Iho-holding room na ulit, tapos magpapastillas? Malaki-laki yung irolyo yung 5 million na sinasabing kalakaran.
hindi, Your Honor. Ganito po. Halimbawa, let's say, Den Binsol, through his TCEU na galamay, member, lalapit yan sa likod ng immigration officer sa counter. May dala na yun, may pangalan doon, may picture. Oh, ito, kay Sir Den to. So, pagka ganun, passing through na lang yun.
Ganon.
Passing through, as in hindi scan ng
Tapik-tapik
passport,
na lang
dadaan lang. Dadaan lang yun. Package pa yun, pati sa departure, ganun din.
So,
Eh,
iba-iba yung rate.
Iba po ang rate niyan, malaki na po yan, hindi ko po sure. Pero from what I have heard, it ranges from around 50 to 200,000 per,
May mga milyon-milyon pa
Per
ako
daan.
naririnig eh.
pag mga high profile po, Your Honor, million-million po yun.
O kasi padami ng padami, 733. Ito talaga convicted criminals ng China. Narito, nagkakalat sa Pilipinas.
Yes, Your Honor, labas-pasok po.
Itatanong ko lang, kasabi mo kanina, pag big time, wala hindi ka sure. Nakatanggap ka ba?
Sa big time, yes, Your Honor, hindi po.
So, doon ka sa pangkaraniwan na pasok-pasok na visa upon arrival.
Hindi po sa visa upon arrival, Your Honor. Ano po, wala pong bayad yung visa upon arrival. Talagang tinatatakan
Doon
po
lang
yun
sa
as face
pagtatak
value.
lang, entry, hindi pa yung recommendation.
Yes, Your Honor. Yung visa upon arrival po, wala pong nag-question doon na immigration officer.
Pero,
Tinatatakan po
Ang
yun.
sinasabi mo, kasama ka sa Pastillas.
Yes, Your Honor.
Kasi nasa Viber group ka rin, di ba? Sangkot ka rin doon. Otherwise, hindi ka isasama.
It's all right, Mr. Chong, Alex, for the record, as approved by Senate President Tito Soto, you have immunity for the statements you will be making to this committee in aid of legislation, for the record.
Yes, Your Honor. That is why I have knowledge. I have detailed knowledge of everything.
Okay, maraming salamat sa ating chairwoman at eto nga, meron tayong maliwanag na whistleblower, alam na alam ang kalakaran, mismo nakatanggap at kabilang sa ating mga Viber group. So meron talaga tayong matibay na ebidensya. Salamat po.
Salamat, Sen. Aimee. Moving now to the Department of Justice, Yusek Villar, Aglipa Villar, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Just two, but for this committee, important questions to continue getting to the bottom of this para maprotektahan yung ating mga kababaihan at bata. Does the DOJ have oversight powers over the appointments made by the BI head office?
The explanation given by Commissioner Morente is correct. So only those that are appointed by him are the ones that are contractual or job orders. So all the other appointments are issued by the Secretary of Justice.
So actually, it's oversight plus powers dahil may direct appointing power ang department sa loob ng bureau.
Yes, and also it's that the Bureau of Immigration is under the Department of Justice as an attached agency. So there is close coordination between the Secretary of Justice and the Commissioner.
So kung tutuusin, pwede ring tanggalin ng department ang mga opisyal o personnel ng bureau because of the disciplinary powers flowing from the appointing powers, at least sa 1940 law na hindi pa namin inaaral kung paano i-amend. And of course, for which I hope that the relevant committee here in the Senate will have the support of the department.
That is correct.
Thank you, Yusek. And what steps is the department intending to undertake? Considering gaya din ng kinonfirm ni Commissioner, paulit-ulit na natin nadidinig itong mga, well, sorry to say, kababalagahan sa BI. No? Ano po yung plano ng department moving forward?
Well, actually, as early as when the Secretary was appointed, he already issued several department orders to calling for the investigation of the illegal activities such as the escort services and the assistance of the commission of or the facilitation of human trafficking by employees and officials of the Bureau of Immigration. So these were issued as early as April of 2019, and further to that, July of 2019, and October 2019, and the latest is January 2020. So there were several department orders already directing the NBI to conduct investigations and case build-up on the alleged involvement of Bureau of Immigration officials and personnel in human trafficking activities and escort services, and even case build-up regarding the alleged entry of prostitutes into the country to work at prostitution dens, mainly catering to Chinese workers. So all these department orders were already issued by the Secretary in response to the reports or tips from unknown sources regarding these activities. And the Bureau has already started, the National Bureau of Investigation has already started their investigations and had some initial reports, and it is ongoing, as was stated by Mr. Chong, that the NBI is closely monitoring the activities of the Bureau of Immigration officers, and that's why they had to dismantle their Viber groups periodically. But aside from that, it's correct that, as mentioned by the Commissioner, that they do their own fact-finding, investigations, and they submit a report to the department, and the department evaluates this for a prima facie case if there is indeed basis to ask the respondent to submit an explanation, and the SOJ can issue formal charges if there is a case, if there's a prima facie case, based on the evidence and the fact-finding report that the BI has submitted. If none, then the case will be dismissed by the Secretary. But if there is, then the DOJ can conduct its own formal investigation, which is headed by the Secretary, and there is an Undersecretary in charge of the Bureau of Immigration under the department, and the Undersecretary is the one who, and other lawyers under the department, the technical staff, composed by lawyers who handle the formal investigation and who conduct the hearings and ask for submission of position papers, and all of these are evaluated by the Undersecretary in charge of the Bureau of Immigration, and the SOJ is the one who issues the decision on the administrative case.
Sorry, Yusek, did I hear you correctly that you mentioned something about dismantling Viber groups periodically? Are these similar to
No, sorry,
the Viber groups you showed earlier? They're
I
different.
was just quoting Mr. Chong when he said that, so I have no personal knowledge.
I was surprised. I thought that the DOJ had personal knowledge, and that's why it was moving to dismantle
No,
such groups.
I
When earlier the
just
BI
said
said they were not aware.
that it's probably why they were dismantling their Viber groups periodically, because the NBI was closely monitoring them, as he mentioned earlier.
Thank you, Yusek. And now, moving precisely to the NBI. Attorney Tovera, kayo po ba ulit yung sasagot para sa NBI, or sino po ba yung pinaka-senior dito ngayon na magsasalita?
Your Honor, I am the most senior, but anybody can answer you depending on the question, Your Honor.
Yes, thank you, Attorney Tovera. So para po sa NBI, no, parang best supporting actor kayo dito at different stages dahil kayo nag-iimbestiga, kaya kinailangan ng mga nagpapastillas na, o yung nagba-Viber noon na magpastillas na lang, etc. And then, of course, you have also figured even earlier in the hearings of this committee na kasama ng PNP, nagre-raid para mag-rescue ng mga trafficked and prostituted women and children at para mag-aresto ng mga suspected buyers. Pag naman kayo po ay nagre-raid ng mga illegal POGO operations o kaya yung nabanggit ng mga prostitution dens na catering sa mga Chinese, tinitingnan niyo po ba yung passport ng mga Chinese nationals na sangkot o naaresto at therefore suspects? Kung tinitingnan niyo po yun, ano karaniwan ang visa status nitong mga naaaresto?
Your Honor, I would like to inform this committee that not all those rescued victims are handed with their visa because some are under the control of the management. But some of them have their visa in their own personal belongings. And most of them, in my personal experience, their visa is a tourist visa.
Pero bukod po dun sa mga nare-rescue nyong victims, survivors, yung pong inaaresto nyo mga suspected buyers ng mga sexual so-called services dito sa prostitution dens, ano po yung visa status ng mga suspected buyers na yon, ng mga Chinese nationals?
Same, Your Honor. They are handed with a tourist visa, and we filed cases against them because they are using the trafficked persons.
Alright, understood, Attorney Tovera. Yung isa rin pong matingkad na usapin ay yung pag-recycle ng mga prostituted Chinese women. Nare-rescue na sila, and then sa unang hearing, sinabi ng BI either na-deport sila or sabi ng Voice of the Free NGO na-release sa mga relatives na biglang nag-appear at kiniklaim sila. Pero sinabi din nung PNP, if I remember correctly, yung PNP Makati nung unang hearing, meron silang karanasan, at least minsan, may na-rescue uli na previously rescued prostituted and trafficked Chinese woman na parang na-recycle lamang. So, itong pag-recycle ng mga Chinese prostituted women at Chinese workers na nahuhuli sa mga illegal na POGOs, kasi nga, di naman sila nahuhuli ng BI pag expired na ang visa nila. At meron po kaming isang nabalitaan. So, gaya ng nabanggit ko kanina, itong isyong ito nagsimula sa POGO-related trafficking and prostitution. Nanganganak, parang isang unending nightmare ng iba pang mga issue. Meron po bang nabalitaan kayo na, nabalitaan ko po na may scam na ire-report yung lost passport, ang passport na expired na ang visa, tapos, kukuha ng panibagong passport sa Chinese Embassy, then papatatakan sa BI na may panibagong visa. So, gaano po katalamak yung ganitong operation ng recycled workers or recycled trafficked women, yung bumabalik na lang sa dating gawa matapos ma-raid. Nare-raid nyo at ng PNP nare-rescue, pero sa ganitong ibang scheme, sa kunyari mawawala yung expired visa na passport and then mapapatatakan na lang ulit sa BI, may bago na namang passport at visa, tuloy ang hindi ligaya pero tuloy yung mapait na trabahong yan.
Your Honor, doon po sa first part ng inyong inquiry, as regards the recycling of rescued victims, it happened once in my operation. Few months ago, this particular establishment in Makati was raided by one division of the NBI. Subsequently, the rescued victim was released to the relatives, and a month thereafter, my team also conducted another operation in a different building, and that operating unit during that first time of operation came to our office. And he said, looks familiar, pointing to that lady. As regards the second question, Your Honor, I have this experience when the workers from POGO operators escaped because they're not being treated humanely. There are about 10 youngsters, Chinese youngsters, and their passports were being hostage by the employer. Just to help them, I subpoenaed the POGO operator somewhere in Clark, Pampanga, and good thing, they reported to me their passports. As soon as they surrendered the passports, these Chinese youngsters went back to China immediately. Furthermore, I coordinated with our Computer Crimes Division for the investigation of that POGO operator, whether or not they are licensed or not. Your Honor.
Thank you, Attorney Tovera. Yung pong hindi nyo na-confirm kung narinig nyo na rin yung iwawala kunyari yung passport nitong illegal Chinese POGO workers pag paso na yung visa, and then kukuha na lang ulit ng bagong passport sa Chinese embassy, and then papatatakan ulit sa BI. So bagong passport, bagong visa.
Personally, wala pa po akong experience dyan, ma'am.
Thank you, Attorney Tovera. Yan po yung isa sa mga issue na patuloy na titignan din ng komiteng ito. And I have a suspicion, a sense that it might be related dun sa mga syndicate groups within the Bureau na nakikipagkutsaba sa mga travel agencies and tour operators. Senator Annie.
Sorry. Thank you very much from the NBI. May 300 million kayo sa akin. Hindi. Lakas-lakas ng NBI. Okay. Balik lang kay Alison Chong para maliwanag lang yung storya. Hindi ko naabutan. Sabi mo nasa bureau ka pa rin?
Yes, Your Honor. Bale, parang naka-leave or emergency leave lang ako.
Ano, naka-freezer ka? O kusa mo yun? O sinabihan ka na wag mo na mag-report?
Hindi po muna ako nag-report kasi baka po may mangyaring masama po sa akin.
Ano ibig sabihin nun? Tinanggal ka ba? May kaso ka ba sa immigration?
Wala po, Your Honor.
Basta kusa ka na lang pumunta rito?
Nung starting po nung Monday after po nung first hearing, hindi na po ako pumasok sa... Yes, Your Honor. Hindi na po ako pumasok kasi dangerous po.
Pero before that, wala kayong alitan sa mga iba't ibang grupo?
Wala naman po, Your Honor.
Eh, ba't mo naisip na isilawat lahat ito?
Gaya nga po nung sinabi ko kanina, Your Honor, there are two main reasons. First, I feel na my fellow immigration officers have been enslaved by this corrupt system. Kung binabayaran po natin ng tama ang ating mga border guards or immigration officers, hindi po sana magiging deterrent po yon sa corruption. Kasi ang pino-point out ko po dito, hindi lang yung bigat ng trabaho, but yung responsibility and accountability ng isang tao. And then second po, I felt that the Filipino people should know about this because it feels like an invasion.
Okay, but you personally are not under threat of removal from employment or may kaso ka or may nagsabi sa'yo tatanggalin ka na kasi may mga bulong-bulong na kasi may atraso yan sa amin kaya kumanta na.
Wala po, Your Honor. Wala pong ganun. In fact, galit sila sa akin because I've been exposing them. Opo. Yun po yung galit nila sa akin because I have been exposing them.
Okay, so you deny all those who are imputing all kinds of evil motives sa'yo. Wala kang motive na ganun?
Wala po, Your Honor. In fact, expected ko naman po na they will do that.
hindi ka galit sa sino man doon at naghihigante.
Wala po, Your Honor. I couldn't, paano ko po paghihigantihan yung...
Hindi, kasi ang balita naman dyan, di ba, competing factions din yan di ba? Parang kanya-kanyang Chinese travel agent, kanya-kanyang pagsusumigasig para maging supplier na malaki. May nasagasaan ka ba o baliktad? Kaya nandito ka ngayon.
Well, Your Honor, for the record, hindi naman po talaga ako humawak ng any Chinese, what do you call this? Hindi po ako naging supplier. So, doon pa lang, I cannot become a competition. Una po, hindi po ako naagawan, and hindi rin po ako nangaagaw.
Okay, thank you.
Yun lang
So,
po, Your
that's on
Honor.
record. Maraming salamat.
Salamat din, Sen. Aimee. So, in closing, and before I suspend this hearing, we are actually in receipt of news. Baka nakita nyo na rin ang ilan po sa inyo online. We're in receipt of news that the President just fired officials and employees of the Bureau of Immigration involved in the Pastillas scheme. I welcome a continuing cleanup of the Bureau of Immigration. Sobrang garapalan na ang Pastillas operation. But I want to emphasize, this is bigger than the frontline employees. We need to protect the innocent, ensure that our borders are protected, go after the big fish, and create systemic change sa loob ng Bureau of Immigration. At dapat talaga Pilipino ang may kontrol ng ating border at mga ports, hindi mga Chinese. We need to clean up the BI at dapat simula ito sa mga malalaking taong sangkot dito at siguraduhin hindi nire-recycle lamang ang mga korap at gahamang opisyal. In our next hearing, the committee will subpoena those who profited millions. Una na dito, ang dating BI Deputy Commissioner na si Red Marinas. Ngayon, nagsisimula muli ang pagtatapos ng korupsyon sa BI na nagpapasok ng mga illegal na Chinese na binibiktima ang sarili nating mga kababaihan at mga bata. With thanks to my colleague, Senator Aimee, and repeated thanks to our resource persons, and a special thanks to our whistleblower, Mr. Alex Chong. Thanks all around. This hearing is suspended.